Oh my. Welcome to the new show of Dick in the Box, where every box is left up to interpretation, because we're all dicks.
Prosper, right?
We on.
Hey, bitches.
What's
hey,
up?
Hoes.
What's
hey,
good, shawties?
Damn,
hey,
I wish
y'all.
Chick-fil-A was still open. I
I
should have slid by.
I'm not eating meat. Fuck you.
Oh, you ain't no meat.
My hips, y'all.
You're not eating no
No
meat.
lie.
My hips
You
don't
can
lie.
put your hips on my legs.
So
and
while
grab
we
my
wait
hips.
for everybody to come in, Trina got something to say.
Me, I'm Trina.
That
y'all,
said me,
so
I'm Trina.
last week I had a bit of a moment, and I'd like to offer you all, our listeners, our supporters, our viewers, a public apology. I did get a little bit out of line. I did allow Fish, him, her to actually get me outside of my element. So I want to apologize to you guys. I love you all, and I'm still Kimmy motherfucking doll. I still will read you under the rug, bitch. So don't try me this week.
Still that bitch. And then apologize next week.
And then apologize again next week.
I'm gonna apologize again, but this week I'm gonna do
Hey,
better.
that ain't fucking with
What
y'all.
you doing?
What y'all been up to?
What's
I
up?
lost 7 pounds this week, y'all.
Oh, is that why you got on your mask?
That's
Oh,
she got
yes,
see through so we can
indeed.
see she lost them 7 pounds.
Go down
She's
something.
sick. Okay, so
I'm
that
still
real.
hippie.
Yeah.
She's sick.
So I can see.
No, down this way?
No, y'all good. Y'all good.
You gotta scoot that way, cause bitch,
Yeah.
I still got.
Y'all sure I'm gonna be in the camera?
Yeah, bitch.
Oh.
Let's see.
Yeah, they
All right.
He said, let's see.
Yeah, you good.
All right, cool.
Shawty.
So we gotta get things together. But anyway, so I apologize to y'all.
Yeah.
I still love you.
Yeah, so we are sponsored. We are sponsored cunts.
What?
Y'all see my arm jewelry? You see the arm jewelry, sis?
I'm about to take this home.
Look all of this. Look at all of these jewels, bitch. We jeweled cunt over
Look at
here.
my swag. Look at my
It
swag.
is
Look at my
from
swag.
the Lake and Prosper. LakeandProsper.com.
Yeah.
LakeandProsper.com. Y'all go there. Y'all support this. It's super high quality. It always has meaning. The meanings generally are explained somewhere on the website. It's very much like a spiritual thing. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's like wearing arm candy that
Correct.
protects you.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm
So.
here for it. I need all the protection I need.
Right over my beans.
She walking around, got wrist security.
And we're also
Ladies down there.
succeeding by Right on the Money Tax. DeAndrea Stewart is the CEO
Yes.
and owner. So get your money right. I like 1, 2. I like 3,
Get your
4.
color.
She's
Okay.
over there getting the kids $10,000 back. And it
That
ain't
part.
illegal, and you ain't got to worry about the people coming for you the next year. So check out Right on the Money Tax, DeAndrea Stewart. She's also a Kimmy doll. Ew.
All right, and of course y'all know what I'm on, you know, Pisces 310, you know what I'm saying? We about to get naked this summer, you dig?
Boom.
You getting naked?
So if you try, fucking right.
Ew.
So if anybody trying to get naked, join me.
Yeah.
Pisces 310 Photography, you know what I'm saying? Hit them up on Facebook if you interested. Hit me up. Get ready, you know, get your body ready. Let's get naked. Let's get nasty.
This bitch want to be nasty.
I'm just saying, let's get nasty. Let's get ready. You feel me?
It's the winter. We haven't seen any thirst traps.
Yeah, cause I don't do thirst traps in the summertime. I mean the wintertime. My bad. In the
In
wintertime.
the summer, you wore us the fuck out.
But I'm gonna wear their ass out in another month. I'm prepared. You know what I'm saying? So now, you know what I'm saying. But in the wintertime, I don't really fuck with thirst traps. But yeah, in the summertime, we gonna cut up. You feel me?
Yeah.
Also, I also want to say, you know what I'm saying. Anybody in Houston, if you're looking for the club scene, you know what I'm saying. Nisha got a lot of nights.
Yeah.
A lot of nights.
Yeah.
You feel me? So if you're trying to go
That's
out,
my
you're trying to
feeling.
feel your vibe, you know what I'm saying? Man,
For real. That's
fuck
what
with
I'm saying.
Nisha, man. Nisha killing that shit, bro. She killing it.
Yeah.
Fuck with her. Period.
So, let's introduce ourselves one more time because some people are new to us, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm Ian.
That's Ian. You're just gonna be real modest.
Yeah, I'm in. You know, I'm a social provocateur.
Yeah.
I'm a community organizer.
Yeah.
I am.
Fuck all that. Author.
A public health connoisseur.
Author.
No, I'm an author. I'm a writer. I'm the LGBTQ editor of Real Urban Magazine. I am the producer of Outcry documentary. You know, I'm a bad
Coming
bitch.
soon.
Bad bitch.
Let you know I ain't with that bullshit.
Kimberly motherfucking Nicole, aka Kimmy Dog, aka the motherfucking stylist that styles you.
Boom.
Know how I
Boom.
coming.
Boom.
I own a t-shirt line called Be Offensive T-shirts. I'm also a personal shopper. I'm also a influencer. I have 5 to 6 brands that I'm currently working for. So look for shit that's coming out in the summertime. I just got booked for the Stella Awards. So you hoes better keep watching.
Oh, come on through.
Yeah.
Come on through, sis.
Thank you.
Lord, I'm gonna scare the fuck out. Well, y'all know. You know what I'm saying? The GOAT. Hold on, shit. My phone. Okay. Yeah. Karel, the GOAT, man. Y'all know where to find me. Karel_X. You know what I'm saying? Messy as fuck. Give a fuck. I say what
You
the
messy?
fuck. I actually am messy because I say what the fuck I gotta say. You know, word on the street, I just got some info just in a few minutes ago that said that a specific person was upset with what I said last week about, you know what I'm saying, trans women. You know, being that they have
We
to.
gonna jump into
But you know,
that.
okay, we going. I can't go in right now.
No.
Okay. Well, you know what I'm saying. All I'm gonna say is, you know, we tried to reach out to this particular individual. I guess they was upset according to their lives.
Don't matter. Next. Hey, girl.
It's MC Dirty in the building, your favorite
Yeah.
MC, the spiritual misfit, your favorite life coach. Like they said, it's going down. If you rolling with Nisha this Friday, we celebrating jazz in the Aquarius. So make sure y'all get y'all animal print together, but please take a bath. Hygiene is everything. Y'all really been blowing me these last couple of weekends, walking in there smelling like a chitlin buffet. I want y'all to just clean it up. Get close to God, a little bit of soap. If you're having issues with toiletries, hit me in my DM. I will get with you. MC_dirty. That's EMCEE_DI. 2 R's, TY. Holla at me. It is what it is.
Yeah.
Yes. So let's just jump right into the topic. So did y'all see that Bob got his ass whooped and still went to jail?
I don't think he got beat up though. But that's just 3 or 4 scratches. Y'all get y'all nails done. If they break during the fight and you grab my face, you scratch me. That's not an ass whoop. I want to see her pictures.
Yeah.
Dirty trying to be all
And y'all are going in on Bow Wow for quote unquote getting his ass whooped. But had he whooped her ass,
We
Oh, they would've hung
him.
Still.
no. Exactly.
don't like Bow Wow in the hole.
It's a lose-lose situation.
For him.
He got his ass
Right.
whooped, supposedly.
Allegedly.
But bitch is also because if he would have whooped her ass, he would have been in jail much longer.
Right?
He
Right.
got out though.
Right. If
But-
he would have whooped her ass.
But my thing is, if he got his ass whooped, why did he go in? Why wasn't it not
okay,
2
so first of all,
pictures?
let's just be honest about it completely. You already know that when you have domestic situations, I've had domestic situations where they wanted to take me and the other person to jail, but I ended up not going to jail. I had a good cry though.
Oh, okay, that's what it is.
Well, I went
So
to
you think-
jail.
you think
I went to
sis had
jail
an
before
overdramatic
years
cry?
ago.
Right.
Okay,
I went to jail
I've
before
never,
years
I've
ago,
never
yeah.
had domestic violence under my belt. Thank God. I'm more of a mutual combat kind of kid with people on the street. Not.
Yeah, incident
Ooh,
with
I had an anger issue back in my bitch, I used to tell my boyfriends up. And it was not until the paramedics and the fire department were called and they had asked him when he came to, they had said, and I am not proud of this, but they had asked him when he came to, they said, was this a domestic violence situation? And for those 3 seconds before he answered, all I could do was say, Jesus, if you get me out of this one, I won't go back.
And went
I
right
can't
They went right
I
back.
promise.
No, I did go back, but he broke up with me.
That's good.
Okay, so we already know that domestic violence is a big thing. If you're in a domestic situation, call the police.
Yeah.
Whoop that. Get you some licks in.
Facts.
I'm getting licks in.
So listen, in regards to that, we found out this weekend, very disparaging too, the quarterback from FSU got put off the team for apparently being recorded beating his girlfriend because she was antagonizing him. Wait, Later, I got an inbox of her doing a huge apology, saying that it was an old video and she didn't realize it would ruin his life. This boy's career is done over something that happened months ago that she put on Instagram and took it down, but before she took it down, it went viral.
Yeah.
So like rape and domestic violence, right? I am really sick and tired.
And you bitches screaming like what is it?
Wolf.
Yeah.
Like it is so many times like when people scream wolf or cry wolf, even if they are in the wrong, but because they're protected by law, they don't get anything that happens to them once they cry wolf. That's an issue for me. I think that we have to really, not to say domestic violence is okay or rape for that matter, but it's like so many times when people are crying wolf and nothing happens to them after you done fucked up somebody's whole life.
Right.
That's not cool.
And you have to understand that even I can honestly say that in some situations I was the person who provoked, and in other situations I was provoked. Yeah. In the situations where I provoked, I still didn't go to jail. And I was honest with the police officers. I told them.
Because you protected.
I hit the hoe.
You protected. I'm over this. What's up, next? So how many people are in this presidential
Okay,
election?
so I'm on Facebook minding my motherfucking business like I normally do.
Yes.
And I saw a fucking article that said it's 404 people that signed up for the presidency run. I think at this point, bitch, I'm signing up.
Bitch, I ain't got no money, but shit.
I mean, if
I'm ready to sign up.
If you say the right shit, apparently they'll back you.
Yeah.
I mean, at this point, any motherfucking Cardi B could sign up.
Boots.
And I vote for that hoe.
No.
Okay.
So one of the things that came, Charlamagne said this, but Charlamagne made a really good point when he was talking about where we are and how this demon of an orange person that's in office has sparked a new level of intent with millennials and people under us, right? Because now, bitch, now that he done fucked up so much, we saying like, bitch, not only do we have to stand up, we got to lead. It's leaders blossoming and coming up out of nowhere just simply because this fucking orange man who did some, I haven't seen the State of the Union, but I'm sure it was foolish. But that is at the helm of our country. Now it is sparking a wave of excitement, a wave of movement, a wave of leadership. And I'm not mad that 400 people. Now what I don't want to happen is for the people that look and breathe like us to get so caught up on who we like and who we behind and whose politics we stand for. No. That's not my issue. I don't care about us not doing the research, because them white folk that's voting, excuse me, the white folk that's voting, they not voting based upon research, they voting based upon likability. So I'm not mad at the research. What I am mad at, on the other hand, is when somebody gets the position, when somebody gets the actual Democratic nomination, then we're so against them because our person didn't win that then we don't go vote.
Right.
That's my issue.
Yeah, that's a big issue.
Yeah.
I think that's what happened last year.
It is.
Because, I mean, not last year.
Last presidential election.
Because a lot of motherfuckers didn't vote. And then y'all sit up and talk shit about it. Oh, this person is Agent 45. And all
Which creates my contrast. Why do you guys think that people went out actually voted for Obama? Like, what was it about Obama?
You want me to be honest?
He was African American. Is that where you're gonna?
Okay, fuck that.
Okay.
Bitch, I didn't want no motherfucking Republican in office.
But I think too, he was so relatable to the culture. You know, you talk about a soul brother, somebody who loved his wife.
Correct.
He showed that father figure to his children. Everything that we lacked, everything that we lacked in our family, we saw it in them. So they were kind of like the Cosbys of the White House. Well, I mean, not about. It don't have to be about Bill. It's still the Cosby.
So, do you think that most of that was authentic, or do you think that?
I think
was
a lot of that was authentic.
Authentic.
Yeah. You talking about Obama?
Yeah.
That shit was G shit.
Yeah, I think they were very.
It wasn't authentic at all.
I think it was very authentic.
Stand up.
Yeah.
He was the Slim Shady that stood.
But the bitches did come.
They sent for him.
Right.
We posted about some shit because last week we were having a conversation around Jussie Smollett.
Right.
And I brought up the idea around the fact that black trans people are being slaughtered, being hunted.
And shunned away.
Right? Like deer.
Right.
Bitch, out here in these streets.
Dead.
And we all were making points. But there was a conversation going on in the comments around us, and I really hate this, but I'll get to this in a second. But there's always this conversation that because I don't identify as, that I can't understand with.
Right.
Right? And so what we wanted to do as a podcast, as the host, is bring someone who identifies in some way with being trans.
Correct.
Right?
And that will be able to not only educate us, but open the door and bridge a way for us to have a better understanding.
Boots.
Right.
And so this person has a pretty heavy burden on tonight for the people and for us.
Yeah, because I'm confused as fuck.
He always stands up, and we are obviously ignorant by our viewers.
Right.
According.
And so I have a lot of things to describe this person: an advocate, an activist, a preacher, a teacher. But I want him to introduce his goddamn self. Y'all welcome Kaleb Elijah.
Yeah.
Kaleb Elijah. Slide on through. Slime.
I'm on here. I'm live.
Live.
We're live, ho. Come on, baby.
I have a lot of hips, so I gotta scoot over.
Scoot over. We ain't got no room to scoot over. You know what? Let me tilt this shit. Let me tilt this shit different. Tilt this shit like this.
Man, I appreciate y'all. Man, I really appreciate y'all having this conversation. Just for everybody that's watching, I'm Kaleb Elijah, and I'm here in Houston, and I do a lot of work within the trans community, but not just within the trans community, and the LGBTQIA, A, B, C,
D, right?
E, F, G.
Right.
Damn.
But it's good that we have this conversation with such a diverse group of people. So I mean, I'm ready to get into it and let's discuss what we need to discuss.
All right. Can y'all hear Kaleb?
Can y'all hear me? That's what I ain't got the mic on.
Yeah.
Let's get them hearts up if y'all can hear Kaleb. If y'all here for it, if y'all here for some interesting education and some good tea about the tea, let me hit y'all hit them hearts. Make sure y'all sharing this too, man. It's about to get real.
Share, tag your friends, and invite people to watch this.
So let's just jump right in.
Yeah, okay, they can hear you.
Okay, we got some punch.
I want to start this off just because Kaleb is my brother, and we do move in some of the same circles because we do kind of, if you will, the same work. And people are having a conversation. I don't know if it's a conversation with you, but they're having a conversation either way around you identifying mostly as a heterosexual black male.
Right.
Can you explain what it means to be a transgender man, but identify as a heterosexual black male?
Well, first thing, I mean, I need people to understand that sexual identity, sexual orientation, and gender identity are two different things. That's the first thing that we gotta say. But we have to also understand that basically, when you talk about the LGBT community, it's a social community.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so everybody who is transgender, for the most part, I mean, I say everybody, but for the most part, we transition within this community. Right? So, as a transgender person, I'm not going to stop being your friend because I've transitioned. Right. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So I'm not gonna say that, oh well, I can't go hang out with Dirty and Nisha and all of my people that I've been associated with.
Right.
Just because you know what I'm saying, I've transitioned. And so the hardest part for a person, especially transgender men, let me say that because I can't speak for trans women, but if people see me with you, then they automatically think because you are a gay male that I'm gay.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Well, on the contrary, if she hang with me, does that make her a straight woman because she's hanging? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so we gotta kill this ignorance. But here's the thing: a lot of the ignorance is not outside our community.
Right.
It's
It's
inside.
right
It's
inside.
inside the community.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I've had gay men that say, well, you know, because I'm going to be attracted to you, you shouldn't hang out in these
Right,
circles.
right.
Well, hold up. You know what I'm saying? Because on the flip side, you want heterosexual cisgender men
Right.
to be comfortable in your space.
Right.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's the same thing. I'm not gonna love you any less because when you are comfortable in who you are, that shit don't matter.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It doesn't matter because whether I was in the club or not, if a gay man's gonna be attracted to me, that's not going to matter.
Right, right.
I mean, I think it's a level of ignorance that comes in when it comes to those things, as far as the transition, as far as the person overall, and sometimes people get a little bit too nosy, and then some people just close the door altogether.
Correct.
As a people, as brown people, we lack the information that we need, and instead of you asking somebody, because I'm sorry, bitch, I'm asking questions because I need to know.
Right.
Okay? If I don't know something, the only way that I'm going to learn is to be able to have those questions. There are books, there are websites, there's a lot of information that's available to us, and instead of us actually digging in and actually trying to find that information, we rather just shun everybody away, and that's bullshit. I feel like that's just straight bullshit.
And I think, I think, for a lot of trans people, it's not the fact of what you ask.
It's how you ask.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't, when I'm out in my life, I'm not looking at somebody saying, I wonder if they got a dick or a pussy.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Let's just be real.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So when you meet a trans person, why is that the first thing that you ask?
I have to apologize because when I first met Kaleb, we were at Bayou. He was with another friend, and we were all in a circle, and I was just like, "Damn, you fine."
Right.
And you
And
are.
I was like, who's that?
Damn, this yellow nigga fine.
Right.
And so then I asked my friend, I said, "Is this your dude?" And my friend was like, "No, we just cool, we just hanging out or whatever." And I was just like, "Damn." So then somebody whispered in my ear, and they was just like, "That's a trans man." I had never, doing this work forever, I had never seen a trans man, or at least a trans man that was, if you will, passable. I hate that word, but passable, right? And I just remember saying, "Man, I want to fuck you." And Kaleb had looked at me with such disgust. That nigga had looked like he was about to break my head open because I said I want to fuck. And I think that especially with kind of like how we're looked at in public, like we have taken that on, like we have over sexualized ourselves, right? And so like when we see somebody that we're attracted to, the issue is not that I want to know your genitalia, right? The issue is I am trying to figure out how in the hell am I attracted to something that was originally something that I'm unattracted to. Right? And it's a mind fuck to us. And so
I agree with that.
It's
I
weird.
definitely agree with that. Because at this point, I identify as a lesbian, female, feminine. I'm still dumb. Fuck the girls. I found attraction to Kaleb, as well as I've dated a trans male. So, I mean, I don't know. I don't even look at it the same. I just be like, bitch, you fine. Like, hey.
But you know what? That's such a great thing about culture. Culture evolves. You know what I'm saying? And so we have to really understand that. First of all, sexuality is energy. You know what I'm saying? So
Side note,
go ahead.
bitch, ain't this whole voice making your dick hard?
We got people on the comments like, bitch, that's mine.
No, I'm sorry. I don't know.
No, you good. You know what I'm saying? But here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. So you just said something I want to touch on. So you said, you was like, I'm trying to figure out how I can be attracted to something that was once something. But here's the thing, though.
Yeah. Attraction
is once I see you,
that's it.
That's it.
That's it.
Like you can't unsee me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
I'm lying. It's the physical. You be like,
and I think that's why a lot of us within our community, why we can't really experience relationships with transgender people
Yeah.
because now you want to unthink what you saw.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like you want to go back and be like, nah, but wait, this, and you haven't even had a conversation with that person to say, do I like you as a person?
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Do I like you as
So-
a person?
so-
I mean,
so
go ahead.
No, I'm just wondering. So, Danita, you are a masculine lesbian, correct? That's how you identify, right?
Right.
So you're a masculine presenting lesbian. Do boys, especially gay boys, approach you in the same way that like Kaleb is talking about?
Yes.
In what way? Like, what does that? How do you respond as a masculine?
I mean, I
lesbian?
don't because I don't respond, and I guess that's weird because I don't respond. I mean, my thing is there's no attraction there, and I make it very clear. Even though I'm a stud, I am a grown woman. I don't do male parts, so none of that impresses me. But hey, dirty, hey girl, I film down a little bit so that we don't cross lines.
Right.
But I don't. That's never been something that was. I mean, I've had the issues, especially working on the club scene. The boys, they do it. For me, it's cute flirting. That's it. It'll never go beyond that. I've never been offended by it. And they boys like dominant girls. I've had, and back in my days in Big Yo's, I had a gay male ask me to have anal sex with him, and that blew my mind. But
I've been asked to do so many sexual.
yeah, and I just realized that it's sexuality and this rainbow is what it is, and
it's a spectrum.
Yeah, so
It's a spectrum.
but it's never
I
been
think
a.
sexual attraction should be fluid, period.
Yeah, that's
I mean, and that's just my thing. You attracted to who the fuck you attracted to. Because I see bitches every day. God knows my heart, and He knows my tongue.
there she go.
I see bitches on my timeline that be so straight, they ain't had nothing but dick, and I be like, bitch, just come lazy.
but
You know what I'm saying?
like,
So it's just like,
just hold.
yeah, just hold you. You understand what I'm saying? So for me, because I do just like a feminine girl, they don't think that I could be dominant or I want to fuck on bitches, but I do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I want to put a strap around this big ass booty of mine. I want to fuck you and choke you and make you call me daddy.
Can you just post a snippet of a video? Because to me is like, I think that your dominance is definitely indoor lights off thing, because even though you have an aggressive tone about yourself, you still present yourself as a lady. So when you talk about your dominance and the things you want to do when the lights are down, I just want you to pull that off and post a 10-minute Instagram video.
Can we talk about the fact that all of this is fluid?
Yes.
Me and Correll had a conversation, right? Correll said he ain't for no soft tops, but let me tell you, I have been fucked by a soft top. Yeah. I don't get fucked often, but bitch, I had got fucked by a soft top, and he has stuck the dick to me like none other. I'm looking down at the ground because bitch, he had bit me down the top. This had fucked me down. Okay?
It does. You can't see it because of. Well, okay, so I'm gonna explain it. Dirty is saying that because I am feminine, and I'm very feminine. I like tights, I don't wear no drawers. I'm like a feminine woman. But when it comes to the bedroom, I have to be with a bitch that's gonna allow me to be me. You can wear men clothes, you can wear male clothes, you can like male fashions, you can do all of that. But bitch, when we're in the bedroom, we still two women. So for me, I don't have no mind.
So wait, hold on. So watch this, y'all. Here's when shit get real. So you strapped all your girlfriends? All your girlfriends let you be you?
No, not all of them. I was in for 7.5
So give me a percentage. 90%, 98%, 99.5, 99.2.
We can't even say relationships.
Any of the ones that showed up in Instagram pictures with.
That I was in relationships, I was not being true to myself.
Okay.
I was in a relationship for 7.5 years where I was with a bitch who was a touch me not. Bitch, I was so unhappy, boy.
For 7 years.
For 7 whole motherfucking years. You understand what I'm saying?
Listen, but let me preach to you. 7 years was completion, 8 years was new beginning.
Exactly. And the 8th bitch I had found me a bitch I can fuck on.
Oh, man.
But really, all talk though, here's the thing though. We have to really understand that this is cultural. what we're talking about. It's taboo stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so it will shift a little bit from even just transgender things. You know, like other cultures, you know what I'm saying, Caucasians, like they're not sitting around having these conversations because they believe in being in submissive roles, and I'm talking about in cisgender heterosexual, you know what I'm saying, or whatever. So we got to get out of our head, because I think that's a lot of what keeps us unhappy.
Right.
For you to sit here and say that you was unhappy for 7 months.
And that's me being
Not 7
years.
Not 7 whole days.
7
whole days. You know,
Hey.
but for 7 years, you was not able to be yourself because of somebody's perception of what it means to be a man or a woman. And so even when it comes back to you know, transgender issues, I mean, you do have gay trans men. You know what I'm saying? Who they are men, and they like men. You know what I'm saying? So they will be considered.
The attraction period should be fluid. Period.
Yeah, I
mean, in a whole, like, I can wake up and be like, I think Karel is one of the sexiest men I have ever seen in my whole entire life, and this bitch is gay. You understand what I'm saying?
As fuck.
I tell
You would have got up and started.
I don't know how.
Every time I see my bro, I be like, bitch, you look good. He
Doing
like,
all
thanks,
head
sis.
count.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, I just really honestly think that we should break those barriers.
Yeah.
And instead of us seeing what's underneath, we should see what's on the outside and get to know the person.
But the hard part comes, right? The hard part comes in us having to decide, like, who we are in the dark, like you said, who we are in the dark. How do we bring that to a community? Because this is the fucked up part about our community. Although we're magical, although we're the most powerful people, I think we're God's chosen people, actually. But even though we are all those things, we are oppressed on all sides, right? And so what happens in those situations, right, when we get in community, the culture that you're speaking about is an oppressed culture. And it's a culture that doesn't want to not be oppressed.
Right.
It seems to want to be the oppressor, right? And so what happens is there's a lot of stigma and there's a lot of, like, fucked up shit, to not sound super professional. It's a lot of fucked up shit going, right? And so how do I bring my whole self into this space? Like, I've been watching, I've talked about it many times, but I got to bring them up one more time. I like Kept Secret XXX on Pornhub.
Well, I've been watching a lot of. Well, I want to tell you, I've been watching a lot of porn on Twitter, and I took a break from work and jacked my dick off. Listen, Twitter is not playing with y'all, bro.
Listen,
at all.
They nasty.
Boots, because I will say this, but my manager watching. But anyway, Kept Secret XXX, child, he got this large dick, and he messes with trans men. I find it so hard. But I am wondering, when that trans man goes home, and they're all white, by the way, right? When he goes home to his community, if his community was people of color, how do they respond? Because
they were probably oppressing.
And we talk about this, you know what I'm saying, a lot amongst trans brothers, you know what I'm saying, trans men of color, that, you know, there are other trans men of color who shame other trans men of color because they're gay. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And so it's just like, you know, how are you going to be an oppressor?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Right. You know, and so this happens, and so we have to keep having these, you know, these open dialogues. Right. You know what I'm saying? About this, because it's a big issue. It's a big issue when you have trans women of color who are slaughtered. You know what I'm saying? And everybody turns a blind eye to it. But then everybody is talking about, oh, I'm LGBT, this, I'm for everybody. Well, but
that shit pissed me the fuck off so badly. Like,
go ahead.
You bitches need to stop fucking judging people. And this is just me being completely unprotected. Y'all always calling me Banshee. I'm being Banshee. I'm not about to say no shit professional. Mind your motherfucking business. Stay out of people's bedrooms.
Right.
Stop worrying about who they fucking on. Don't worry about who they liking on. Stop worrying about everybody. If you can stay in your own fucking lane, none of this shit would happen. Nobody would be feeling oppressed.
But where we miss it, right? Where we miss it, and this is what we don't do well as a community, and it's because of systems. Right. But what we don't do well as a community is we don't watch where the money is, right?
Yeah.
The money is in the fact that gay men are dying.
Yes.
Right? Gay men are dying from that shit.
And that's why we don't have an HIV cure.
Right. Gay men are dying. Black gay men, Latin gay men are dying. So that's why there ain't no money for lesbians.
Right.
That's why there ain't no money for trans men.
Right.
And trans women haven't been studied long enough for them to have money. Actually, up until probably a couple years ago, trans women were considered what they called MSM. MSM means men who sleep with men because they weren't studied long enough to figure out what the fuck their life, what their sexual life looked like as opposed to a gay man. So I think that we have missed like where the money is going, and the reality is the reason why we can focus so much on sex is because of terms like MSM, right? Men who sleep with men. You're reducing, you're reducing what I do to how I have sex, and so yes, it's taboo if I'm attracted to you, right? Because I'm not. According to the CDC, because the CDC put that term out. According to the CDC, I can't sleep with you because you are you would be an FSM.
Right.
You would be a female who sleep with me, even though you're trans. Right? And so, like, all those labels reduce us to nothing but sex.
And I just want to say...
I want to say this.
Bro.
Those funds are misappropriated when they come to the black organizations within our community.
You see the struggle with Atlanta, right?
There is Gender Infinity, which is one of the biggest trans conventions that is held at University of Houston main campus. So it's not that they just don't know what to do. No, they don't know what to do with black trans people. And that's just the honest truth. And so my big issue is that when you have organizations that are African American centered in the LGBTQ community, then you have to hold those people to the same level of accountability. So my biggest thing that I hear a lot of times from people who are not transgender within this community is well, I don't do nothing because I don't understand, and I don't understand because I'm not trans. Well, hold on. Here's the thing, though. Are you HIV positive? No, I'm not. So how is it that you can stand on the front line and stand for African American people who are HIV positive, and you're not? You know what I'm saying? So we got to stop using that as an excuse. I have a grave problem with organizations that you say that you're for all of the letters of the alphabet and you don't know no trans people. Well, how are you leading people that you don't know? How can you go speak on my behalf and you've never spoken to me?
And see, that's my issue. I feel like people
y'all
don't
need
take
to
the
share
time.
this shit.
Lord, this getting real.
They don't take the time to educate themselves. They don't ask the right questions. Someone in the comments says there's a way to ask questions. Respectfully so. My brother Dallas, I would never disrespect him. I would never get in his business too deep. But I spent an entire day with my brother so that I could find out the information that I needed to know about his life. You get what I'm saying? And it was important to me, not just because of the live last week, because things have changed. His transition has progressed. We haven't hung out in a very long time. You get what I'm saying? So it was important to me to actually find that time. So now Saturday is our days. That's when we're gonna hang together. We're gonna do hot yoga and lose weight and get fine on your business and like figure shit out so that he can understand me and I can understand him and we can have an understanding.
What I need from you is understanding.
The
psalmist is
Hashtag escape.
It's about us opening our minds. Like a lot of times as people, we close our minds and close the doors and shut the garages to things that we don't understand. But are you truly saying? Can you truly say that you opened yourself in order to actually understand?
And Carell made an interesting point, and me and him talked about this a little bit. He knows no trans people as a gay man.
Fam, I don't. And I feel like honestly, when this topic came up, we brainstormed, we talked about it, we chopped it up, and I felt like I've always been a supporter of trans indirectly. You know what I'm saying? Like I never like in my mind thought to myself like, oh, that's fucked up, or nah, I can't. I'm embarrassed to be around someone trans. You know, I've never felt like that. You know, and I honestly, the closest person I ever came to that was trans was China. Bless her soul. And we weren't close friends.
Right.
We were on speaking terms.
Right.
We was cool.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But it kind of makes me feel like now that I'm thinking back in retrospect, I'm like, well, damn, like I don't feel like I've done enough.
Right. And you know what? That's
No.
that's the crazy part. When you talk about people like China and it's those are people who have a kind of a global impact.
Yeah.
So they get the recognition that something happens to them.
Yeah.
But on the flip side of that,
Before that happened.
you had all these people that was close to this person,
Right.
and nobody was in the vicinity to protect them.
Correct.
Nobody. I got all these friends, and so that is one thing that always sits with me is because I don't want my community and the people that are close to me. I don't want y'all to take me serious when I'm a hashtag.
Right.
Bro,
And that's
fam, that's real shit though, fam. Bro.
There's two things that you brought up
You spoke.
that spoke to me.
Bro.
Two things. Number one is passability politics.
Right.
There's some politics around passability. I will like you more if you're prettier. Somebody told me I won't say who said something, but someone passed this week. I won't mention his name just because I want to respect his family. But someone passed this week, and when we were talking about that person, one of my good friends said to me, and he was cute. And I said, what the
Y'all, listen, y'all.
does being cute?
Listen. Listen, y'all. Hold on, baby. Hold on, y'all, baby. Hold on, baby. So I said it. Ralph, listen. Ralph always been cute.
Yeah.
Let me be clear.
You gonna tell them exactly what happened?
Oh, no. I'm about to break it all the way down. It was a lot going on, okay? Now, I'm not going to mention certain names because I feel like, out of respect for the family. You know,
Right.
I don't really want to do all that. But I can say this. We weren't friends. But when I touched base with him,
was cute.
bro, he was authentic. Like,
Yeah.
and that's my goal. My goal is to be authentic.
But my
feel me?
argument around that situation and this situation is there's this like passability and or attractive politic that goes with that. Like there was a woman who, although I think Fox 26 put her on TV, that was shot in broad daylight on Rogerdale and fucking Westheimer, in one of the most, in Richmond, in one of the most busiest, a busy ass intersection that no one in the community is talking about.
And I want to say
She was ugly, wasn't she? Tell the truth.
No.
Because that's how people are.
That's not even the biggest.
That's
issue.
how people are, fam.
That's not even the biggest issue. The biggest issue is, number one, a lot of times we don't even know these people are transgender because they're being misgendered in the story. Right. That's number one. Number two, transgender people show up when somebody got a birthday, a bar mitzvah. We fry. No, I'm gonna be real about this. We fry chicken when people don't got insurance and they dead and this. But within the same community, who shows up when transgender people are killed? Nobody. Yet we are on the front line. You have people like Atlantis Narcisse. Yeah. You have people like Monica Roberts. You have people like Dee Dee Waters, who these women put their lives on the front line, not just for transgender people, but for the entire community.
And that was number two.
When things happen to transgender people, we everybody.
Everybody sleep.
So this is the thing. This is the thing, and this is why I always applaud my feminine gay men, right? Because I have a lot of masculine privilege, right? And I would argue that you have a lot of masculine privilege, and Karel does too, right? Just because you don't identify as trans, but as a woman who is masculine identified, right? There's masculine privilege that comes with that and with this. But feminine gay men are the baddest bitches. Because every day they step out at the store on Cullen, they step out at the store on MLK in Atlanta, and bitch, they have their colored hair and their painted faces, and they prance through into the store and get their little cools, or their little black mouth, or their little Swisher Sweet, and bitch, they are not bothered by the fact that their very life danger
At every
right?
turn.
And then I transpose that to my trans women of color. I have a very dear friend, Mia Ryan, who has been on TV, who has done some major things, but now she is taking the back burner and talking about herself as a trans woman because she has been, and she won't talk about it, but I have to say, she has been beaten, she has been brutalized, she has been shot at just for being a beautiful trans woman. And every day they put their life on the line, and I don't think we give them enough credit, not only for standing at the front line for all of us, but the fact that just being trans means you are a target.
Target. I mean, it's just period. Like I tell people all the time, yeah, I'm gay. But when I walk in the door, don't nobody motherfucking know. I don't have a fucking rainbow on my chest.
And we have to really be clear. These are and this is what we don't talk about, because number one, the first thing let's talk about why these people are getting misgendered in the first place. They're getting misgendered in the first place because when the police go to identify them, they don't have enough resources to get their name changed. They don't have enough resources to get their gender marker changed. So when I go and I'm identifying somebody as a police, I got to identify what I see on their driver's license, and their information. Number two is we haven't even talked about a lot of these girls are sex workers. So we got all these things to do for people with AIDS and this. When have you seen a transgender job fair? I'll wait. When have you seen a job fair or any kind of organization put something together? And I hear people say all the time, well, we can't put y'all money in that because who's going to show up and this. And they wonder why transgender people, especially trans men, black trans men, they transition and you don't see them anymore. You don't see them anymore.
And that's the issue, not to cut you off. That's my biggest passion. My brother, Marcus Baker, transition. I transitioned with him, y'all. Like when he came to me and told me that that's what he wanted to do, I did the research, I watched the videos, I learned about the testosterone, the effects on his body, how he will respond to us, what happened when he transitioned, and sadly enough, I watched my brother transition away from me, and I had to pull him back because he wanted to transition away from the community because he had the stigma from being a stud, and then it got thicker when he became a trans man. It was, I don't want to deal with no man, but y'all was still fucking with him.
Well, hold on, let me cut you. They lying,
and they lying, and that's what happened. I found myself becoming an advocate for the T because I would hear so many of them, and I say this from the heart. My trans brothers say the T is silent in LGBT. So as a stud, I started to scream from the mountaintop for them and would jack them from the wrist and say, tell them who you are. Tell them what's going on. And that's why I think a lot of the programs aren't programmed, and I'm one of the ones who silently prays that there is a strong enough trans man and trans woman that will step up and say, I'm going to figure out how to start these programs for my people, period.
Before the end of the show, I'm going to actually give y'all some information on something that's happening at Montrose Center on Sunday so that you guys can attend. Everyone that's watching, I'm going. I hope you hosts meet me there.
The baddest bitch, Trina. Trina gonna be there. Trina gonna be there.
Go to Google. I just want to read something at the end.
It's just, I feel like people are just ignorant.
I really, since I have this moment, I want people to understand how isolating it is. Mm-hmm. I want you to understand that as a community, when you isolate a group of people who already don't have enough money for surgery, who already don't have enough money for healthcare, who already can't get a job, who already can't do that, and then their only sense of community is that, well, I don't understand, so I'm not dealing with it. But let's not forget that because you can have a pride parade and all of that was on the back of a transgender woman named Marsha P. Johnson.
Bam.
So understand that, and also understand that you just really got a right to marry each other. And so who was standing there for you?
It wasn't me.
Right.
It wasn't me. It wasn't me, fam.
Who was standing there for you when you couldn't go and have a baby with your wife? Who was
Right.
standing there when you couldn't go and get health care for your husband as a gay male?
Right.
So let's understand that, yeah, it may be somebody else's time now, but that don't mean that it can't be your time again next.
Correct.
Damn.
Because we know that there is a target on black lives. Period.
Period.
Point
Big
blank.
dot.
There
Big dot.
there is a target
Blank.
on black people, period. And so we need to make sure that we're not allowing the media and other cultures to find little things to keep us separated. So now I got the heterosexual people separated from the homosexual people. So now this is what I can do. I can get the black transgender people and the homosexual black trans people. So now everybody is on an island by themselves.
Right.
Yeah.
And there is no sense of community. Stop saying unity in the
There's no
community.
collective.
But when it's time for you to do something for somebody that don't look like you in your community, you say, "Well, I don't understand." But what you get mad
And
when
I'm
somebody
trying to
won't
be-
bake a cake for you for your wedding?
Right.
But you want all of us to rush down there to the city
Yeah.
and say, "Oh, let them marry."
No,
this,
ma'am.
No, it don't work like that.
Right.
And everybody got to be accountable.
Big
and
facts.
that's my main grievance.
Right.
Is that if you're going to say that you're for everybody in
Be
this
for
community,
everybody.
be for everybody, or
Yeah.
or just be for who you
Or
for.
shut the fuck up.
I'm with it, bro.
It
Like
ain't
I
even
feel,
no.
and
Shut the fuck
I
up,
feel like
period.
I'm openly coming out and saying I'm sorry. Like I never
Oh,
thought
but
about
it's
it.
okay.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna
Like I
educate
really
you
did
now.
real shit though. Like fam, thank you for coming out, man, and sharing your
this is the
perspectives
thing,
and
man,
you
is
know what
like,
I'm saying.
You gotta have the tough conversations, man.
Right.
And you gotta. It's one thing when you don't know. It's
Right.
another thing when you comfortable with not
Yes.
knowing.
You don't want to know.
And you don't want to know.
And I feel like I was comfortable.
Right.
Like I felt like I was cool where I was at. You know what I'm saying? And I've always been a nice person. I've always been engaging when I see. You know what I'm saying? I'm not, you know, like discriminatory or anything like that.
But here my
But that
question
wasn't
is, bro,
enough.
Here my question is, bro. How you know you don't know no trans people?
Exactly.
I mean, I speak to him when I
No,
see him.
how do you know? How do you know?
You
the-
don't know no trans people.
I ain't saying I
Because
don't know
everybody-
any because I do.
Maybe they haven't came.
No, what it
But
is
what I'm saying
what he's saying is, how do you know who
That they're
is and
not
who is?
trans.
Because
Right.
I'm telling you, like I roll places and now because I'm so familiar with, it's certain little things that I can recognize. But for me, I don't care. But I'll be like, oh, trans. Okay, I get it. Verbiage or body language or something like that. So right. So a lot of times you can really have a
I
whole
ain't gonna lie to
circle.
y'all, when I see you,
Come on, ponytail. Come on, ponytail.
She got a trans radar.
Come on, ponytail.
She got trade off.
he's
Yeah.
fine in a motherfucker.
Like
Let me tell you, I only had to learn because, you know, I am attracted to feminine energy.
Right.
Like natural feminine energy. And that's not like trans, that's not like
That's period.
spirit.
like a feminine woman. I
Big
like
time.
feminine energy.
Right.
That's what my friends have a little bit of feminine energy. That's what I date have feminine energy. So when I see all of that and it's wrapped up in all that masculinity, I said, "Oh, let me really
Give you a life.
evaluate
They give you a life.
what this looks like." Because
Bitch, I be
no,
on.
and Kaleb probably gonna slap me in the back of my head. She's like an old mama to me sometimes, but I'll be like, I may have to suck a little pussy. And I'm not talking about the trans pussy. I'm talking about the stuff pussy too. I may have to, if it's hot enough, I may
You
suck a
gotta do
little
what
pussy.
you gotta do. You gotta do what the fuck you gotta do. I mean, we are.
But here's a
I like
here's
sucking a
a
little
cool
pussy.
part about it. There are, if that's what you like,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? There are gay trans men. So if,
Right.
I mean, don't think that you just count it out. You know what I'm saying? I can't help you. I can point you into the direction.
I like that plug. I can't help you, but
At the end of the day, it's all about what you love, what you want, and what you respect.
Right.
Because I was not open to learning those things, and it was something that was new for me back some years back, I can say that I was ignorant, and I was like, I don't know what the fuck going on. What is this? Growing into the person that I am today, I've now been educated. I've now took the time to actually educate myself. I actually want to know. You get what I'm saying? So now I have an openness to it. So now it's like, bitch, no, you're not going to talk about my brother. No, you're not going to talk about him. No, you can't spill tea with me about him.
Right.
No, you're not going to call him or her.
Right.
You're going to respect them. You know what I'm saying? And it's not even a them, it's us.
Yeah.
Because I am LGBTQIA, right?
LGBTQ.
So what we need to learn to do is just practice inclusiveness.
Right.
And that's my biggest thing. Like, literally.
I want you to have the last word.
Go ahead.
Okay, so I want to tell about the event.
Go ahead, tell about it.
Okay, so Sunday, y'all. Let me get my information. We're gonna talk about Ian's event. I'll be there, bitch. I'm gonna be sickening and dusty.
Snacks.
You understand?
Snacks.
Dust, bitch. Saturday is the Outcry event, which is my brother at Montrose Center, 12 p.m. to 3 p.m. All of you bitches that got tickets, don't just get a ticket. You need to show the fuck up.
Right.
This is something that you need to know. You need to see. You need to learn, and you need to come with an open mind.
Wait, because the word on the street is deep.
It's deep.
Like,
deep.
I need
Period.
to understand that it went from 30 people in 10 minutes to 30 minutes and 175 people. And there are still people that are asking me, and my brother, and Ian, and Dirty, how they can be at this event. So if you miss it, that's your business.
Right.
Period.
I need you to be there. So get you a ticket. Period.
Big
dot.
Period.
Big dot. Big fucking
Yeah,
dot.
yeah.
And then Sunday, Trans Community Town Hall. There's going to be a lived experience. Only you can tell your story from 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. That's also at the Montrose Center. 401 Bernard Street, room 107. So, boom. Y'all need to be there for that as well. Don't miss out on the opportunity to have your voice heard. Period. Big dot.
Period.
So,
Jasmine say bring your ticket.
Yeah.
I mean bring your tissue because it's going to be serious.
Boots.
Thank you, Jasmine. Love
before
you.
the masculine identified woman and man next to me close up, I have to read this. Bitches stay on for their closing. But
For the benediction.
Don't miss the benediction. That's a lot.
That's how you miss it.
So if y'all don't know
Thanks.
who Essex Hempfield is, he is one of the most prolific black gay writers in the world. He is dead, but he's amazing. He said, this is called For My Own Protection. I want to start an organization to save my life. If whales, snails, dogs, cats, Chrysler, and Nixon can be saved, the lives of black men are priceless and can be saved. We should be able to save each other. I want to go down real quick. If we have to take tomorrow with blood, are we ready? Do our S-curls and dreadlocks and Phillies make us any more ready than a Bush or a conker line? I'm not concerned about the attire of a soldier. All I want to know for my own protection is, are we capable of whatever, whenever, wherever? Okay? And the reason why I say that is because for our own protection, we cannot allow trans folk to be slaughtered like this. We cannot allow them to stand on the front line and not be back there when they fall.
Right.
There's been many times, and I'm not saying this to boast, but there's been many times my trans sisters have called me after being on stage, after being on TV, after working in community, and said, bitch, I can't even eat. That I've had to cash out. Right? Just because they are doing this work and don't get paid.
Right.
Oh, Jesus.
Okay, before y'all go into the benediction, I just got one person that I love. Her name is Jennifer Rochelle. She said something on the post, and I just want to read it because it's really, really dope and it's fucking deep. Jennifer, I love you, bitch.
Hey, Jennifer.
We, as a community, simply just need to learn to love and treat each other like brothers and sisters we proclaim we are. In the community, folks always adopting motherfuckers into their family based off of clout.
How they look.
Clout.
How they look.
Shit, adopt somebody because you love them or simply because they are in a need, and at a point in your life you too were in the need.
Yeah. We
We have to remember and be aware of who we were and what we needed before we became okay with who we are. Everybody needs somebody in this world, and if you didn't at least make one person smile or happy or feel love in your lifetime, you're just taking up bullshit ass space. I love you, bitch. I love you, bitch, and that's why.
So I guess for me, I piggyback off of what Jennifer had to say. We need to come to the realization that we pride ourselves on the rainbow, and back in the days we considered ourselves family. And if you look at the spectrum of the rainbow, all the colors mesh into each other.
Correct.
We need to get back into that mesh. We need to learn to lean on one another and still be strong enough to stand to hold somebody else up when they weak and not watch them fall and ask them, do it hurt? So as a community, we need to get back to them old ways so that we can cause or create that revolution that catapults us into the next whatever the culture has for us as far as change is concerned. So I guess my outcry to the community is bring back that mesh, y'all. Let's get back into what family really is. Stop automatically assuming a perception about somebody, and by all means, kill ignorance. It's okay to ask. Just don't ask like an ass.
Facts.
Right. I want to touch because one of my trans brothers was on there, and I gotta say this. He said that he doesn't believe that trans people should be a part of the community because they don't belong there, and I want to say that's ignorant. You go where you loved,
Right.
because my transition shouldn't pull me from my biological family.
Right.
So why should my transition pull me from my spiritual family?
Right.
So you gotta out in one ear, you can't sit here and say, bro, that you want people to accept you.
Right.
And then on the other hand, you are afraid to be vulnerable
To be
and
accepted.
to be accepted.
Right.
So don't have people saying, let me love you, and then saying, but I don't want your love.
Right.
Right.
And then when you're not loved, you
Right.
saying, but nobody loves you.
Right.
So I'm gonna have to disagree with you on that. When it comes to the community, number one, to leaders, if you say you for everybody, you got to be for everybody.
Right.
Period. I can't say I'm for this and something happens to Dirty and I'm not there.
Right.
But at the same time, that got to be reciprocated.
Absolutely.
Number two, empathy. You can't do this work without empathy.
Right.
And if you say you are a leader in any capacity, how can you look at somebody hurting, a group of people that are hurting, that are being killed, that are being ostracized, that are being mocked?
Man.
I see gay and lesbian people take transgender people's pictures and put their before picture up and they after picture up, and what you're doing is you are crucifying somebody.
Right.
You are sitting, every time you sit and you throw stones at somebody, it's crucifixion.
Correct.
That's what they did to Jesus. You see what I'm saying?
You got no room though.
You have no room. You have no room. So it's important that we continue to have these conversations.
Right.
Absolutely.
It's also important because I see this a lot. Don't just have the conversation with the same person. There's everybody's experience is different.
Right.
So there may be times you may ask me something, I send somebody else.
Right.
Because there's only so much that my story is gonna impact.
Right.
So when you say that you are a leader, you make room for other leaders. Is
Right.
what you do. So don't just stop with the pretty ones. Don't just stop to the ones that you attracted to. Because
Right.
here's the honest to God truth. I have a privilege.
Right.
I have a privilege. You know what I'm saying? I can walk and get a job. I don't have, and it's sad, but it's
Speak.
true. You know what I'm saying? I can
Speak,
get a job.
fam.
I can get, opportunities. And so we got to make sure that we are using our voice. And it is also important. Man, don't just have transgender people back when you're on a platform and when you're on a panel. Make it a habit of shutting conversations down when you hear people, because here's the truth of about the matter.
Yeah.
If you wasn't the person that you was, it was nobody's business to tell you who I was, because they didn't know me personally. If you haven't slept with me, if you haven't, you don't know me personally.
Preach.
So we
It's a
have
word.
to make
Better
sure
preach,
that
man.
you're not outing people in the
Jesus.
name of you spilling tea. Because what you don't understand, whether you in this community or out, you put that person at risk of losing their life. It's not funny. It's not cute. It's not the thing to do. It's not the hey girl, it's not the popping thing to do. So make sure if it's not your business, don't tell it. If you are not having sex with this person, it doesn't matter if they can't.
God damn it, you better go off, bro. You better go off.
If they're not your children, keep your mouth off of people and stop saying that you are for people, but then you turn around behind closed doors and you do things that put them in hard way.
Facts, bro. Woo! Woo!
Go ahead to nothing else. Don't say nothing else.
If you bitches did not get anything else tonight, you got motherfucking educated.
Yes, it did.